Skinny Hardaway 7T. Back with another EP. Y'all do your boy a favor. Y'all smash that like button for your boy and you roll on in. So what's up to the people in the building? What's good, baby? Nurse Lulu, appreciate you sliding through this, young queen. Glad you could make it. Tim Free, what's good, Tim? Appreciate you sliding through. My guy Kurt, what's good? Asante, I'm gonna get you rinsed up. Asante, about to get you rinsed up shortly. What's good, Asante? Spoke to the beautiful Miss Lulu already. My queen, Just Jazz, appreciate you sliding through. The beautiful baby mother, the beautiful lady in charge. Just Jazz. Love saying Lulu and Jazz in this thing bright and early. Appreciate y'all folks sliding through this thing. But today we here to have us a boxing conversation. Now we here for a little longer than we've been here on these other EPs this morning. That's because I got a little something to talk about. You know what I mean? On this EP. It shouldn't take overly long, right? But it's gonna take me a little second, you know what I mean, to get my point across. I'm about to take this thing to the living room too. We about to go get situated. But we having us a Canelo Alvarez conversation this morning. You know what I mean? Rather you go be posted listening. You know what I mean? Rather you dropping in or whatnot. I'm gonna take my time. With this one today because I want to make sure that, I get the points I want to get across. I want to make sure that I'm hitting home on everything I need to hit home. So if y'all hear me, taking my time, you know what I mean? Not stuttering, right? But, taking slight pauses is because I want to make sure that I'm getting this shit off the way that I need to get it off, right? But I digress. So I ain't did my fight weekend cap. I ain't did my fight weekend recap from this week, right? I kind of did, but then again, I kind of didn't, right? I'm doing it, but I'm not doing it all together. I'm kind of just separating and piecing, my thoughts up from the weekend. So I'm going to talk about, Dylan White. I'm going to talk about Dylan White's fight. I'm going to talk about Dylan White's fight from the weekend a little later. And with Jermaine Franklin and whatnot, right? But John Ryder and Zach Parker had a fight this weekend, right? John Ryder and Zach Parker at the 175-pound division for the WBO strap. For the WBO interim strap to be the WBO mandatory. So Zach Parker and John Ryder had a fight for the WBO mandatory spot. That's the spot, if y'all remember correctly, right? That's the spot that Demetrius Andrade was supposed to fight in. Demetrius Andrade was supposed to fight Zach Parker for that vacant belt that John Ryder and Zach Parker just fought for this weekend. But Demetrius Andrade ended up pulling out of the fight with Zach Parker. Some said injury, right? But the rumor, that's floating around is that Demetrius Andrade pulled out because of the money. The bag wasn't right. This fight was a fight that went to purse bid, so each fighter received about $250,000 for it, right? And Demetrius Boo Boo Andrade said that he's not fighting for $250,000. So Demetrius Andrade ended up essentially pulling out of this fight with Zach Parker, and that opened up the door. That opened up the gate. That opened up the door. And that opened up the gate for John Ryder. That opened up the door for John Ryder versus Zach Parker. So John Ryder versus Zach Parker is exactly what happened this weekend. Now, I'm not sure if y'all watched the fight, right? But if you watched the fight, interesting fight, right? Interesting fight, right? To say the least. By interesting, I mean not interesting, right? As in, one of those fights that you can't miss, right? But interesting as in the term of events that happened at the actual fight. It was good, St. Louis. Appreciate you sliding through this thing, St. Louis. Glad you could make it if y'all could. Jab that like button for your boy. Rather you here for a good time for a long time. Greatly appreciate everybody sliding through this thing. But we're in this thing having a conversation. I want y'all to walk with me. I want y'all to talk with me. I want y'all to hear me out because I'm getting somewhere, right? We getting somewhere. We getting somewhere with this, right? So the fight with John Ryder, the fight with John, what's good? What's good, G5? The fight with John Ryder and Zach Parker was interesting. Interesting term of events. Right. But before I even get into that, and that's why I got to really slow roll this shit. What's good, Fizzle? Appreciate you sliding through this thing, Fizzle. Glad you let me get right. Got TWT in the building. Right. So we talking about we talking about Canelo and John Ryder, but essentially I got to talk about the fights that happened this weekend, right, to really get where I'm going. Right, so Zach Parker and John Ryder faced off this weekend. The fight was interesting, not interesting like fight that you must see, but the outcome of the fight was interesting. John Ryder eventually ended up winning the fight, right, with Zach Parker, but the way that he won was a little different, right? Zach Parker quit on his stool. Zach Parker decided not to come back out for the 5th round, right? And what's even more funny, even more weird, even more strange about it is Zach Parker was essentially winning the fight when he decided not to come back out for the 5th round. Now it came come to find out that Zach Parker had broken his hand, right? And the hand issue was keeping him from returning. So he decided, not to come back in. He said, we almost about to hit that monetize, man. Hell yeah, G Fizzle. Hell yeah, y'all follow. Make sure y'all follow the King G5 Gate. Make sure y'all follow the King G5 Gate. Help my guy get, to 1K. We about to hit that road. Tim Skywalker just did it. Brother G5 is up next. And then we working on Sister Queet. You know what I mean? After that. Hell yeah, it feels. Hell yeah. Let me find this blunt up, though. Let me find this blunt. Hold on, y'all. Let me find this blunt up. So yeah, John Ryder was good. Well, so what's good? So what's good on commentary? Appreciate you sliding through this thing on commentary. Glad you can make it, Pimp. Glad you can make it. So John Ryder decided not to come back out for the fight, not to leave his stool, and they ended up calling the fight. Not John Ryder, Zach Parker. Zach Parker ended up, not coming back out for the fight. He ended up retiring on his stool because he broke his hand. Now when this first happened, right, I said, foul play, that's some bullshit. Zach Parker quit, right? But then once I saw Zach Parker's hand, I saw that it really was swollen, right? So Zach Parker maybe did break his hand. I'm surprised he quit because I've seen guys continue to fight with broke hands. You know what I mean? I like Tank Davis. Right? So that brings in my question: how much does Zach Parker really want it, right? That makes me question Zach Parker's heart, right? But even this EP is even bigger than Zach Parker's heart, right? I really want us to think about this, right? Now we finna get into, the good part. Y'all walk with me, y'all talk with me. I want us to really think about this, right? So let's take a step back for a second. Let's take a step back. Now, y'all see the title of my EP. The title of my EP says Canelo versus Ryder next. He was never fighting Bivol again. Well, before I can elaborate on that, I got to elaborate on the fact of how he initially started to fight Bivol anyway, because I know, people seem to forget. People have seemed to forget now. I know people have seemed to forget now, but Sudden T is going to remind you. Canelo Alvarez and Bivol Canelo Alvarez and Bivol, right? They came about. They came about out of nowhere, out of left field, right in the midst of Canelo Alvarez versus Jamal Charlo. Now I'm gonna talk about Jamal Charlo a little bit later, right? But for this EP, we gonna stay on task. You know what I mean? People forget that the Bivol situation arised because Canelo Alvarez had told us that he would be fighting Jamal Charlo, right? So now, we got everybody. Everybody's hyped for Jamal Charlo versus Canelo. They working out deals, right? He over there on the PBC side. It come out that he might fight David Benavidez as well after Charlo, right? So we were excited about this. And then it seemed like right in the limelight. It seemed like right. Hell yeah, G5. Hell yeah, G5. That's the business right there. It seemed like right in the limelight. It seemed like right at the height, right, of Charlo and Canelo. Canelo pulled out. He pulled out the negotiation with Charlo, and he came out that he had signed a new deal with the Zone to face off against Triple G, right? And when the news broke that Canelo was going to face off against Triple G, right, it was it was a backlash. And then the next day, right, news broke again that he'll be fighting Triple G and Dimitri Bivol, right? And then the news broke that he'll be fighting Dimitri Bivol first and then Triple G. What's good, BBG, right? So I said that for a reason. I said that because let's understand that Canelo's intention was never to fight Bivol. He was about to fight Charlo first. What's good, Josh Sanders? Appreciate you sliding through this, John. TWT in the building. TWT in the building. I got to highlight you too, Josh. But so understand that it was never Canelo's plan, right, to fight Bivol. He was about to fight Charlo, and then he was about to fight Triple G. A backlash came, and then they threw in Bivol as the first fight to smooth over. Well, I'm not just cherry picking Triple G. I'm moving up first to fight at 175 to try to win the title, to try to, increase my legacy. It's a harder fight. You get what I'm saying? What's good, Duke? Appreciate you sliding, Duke. See King Do in the building. Hold on, wait, it's on delay right here. See King Do in the building. So right, so he was never going to fight, Bivol in the first place. He was supposed to fight Charlo, right? But then he pulled out of the Charlo fight for whatever reason, right? We think, right, because he's scared of Charlo, he ducked Charlo, he don't want to fight Charlo, right? He picked an easier fight, which what he thought was an easier fight, right, in Dimitri Bivol. And the same people who was telling you back then that Dimitri Bivol was a tough fight, he harder than Charlo, was just telling you that Dimitri Bivol was boring, had no power, and he was trash before Canelo was about to fight him. But after Canelo fought him, right now he's the harder matchup than Charlo. So understand, he wasn't about to fight Bivol to begin with. He was about to fight Charlo, right? Right. So now he signed to fight Bivol. Now he's signed to fight Bivol out of left field off this DAZN deal. This out of left field. Really, he signed to DAZN to fight Triple G again. Let's get that understood. Because when that DAZN deal first broke, the first name we heard was not Bivol. It was Triple G. The first name we heard was not Bivol. It was Triple G. What happened was that public pressure hit, and Canelo knew that Triple G fight wasn't going to go over smoothly because nobody wanted to see it, and he got backlash for it. So he had to throw Dimitri Bivol in there as a caveat. Like, yeah, I'm fighting Bivol too. I'm fighting the champion. He's a harder fight than Charlo, if Triple G not. So I'm going to fight Dimitri Bivol first, right? So that's how the Dimitri Bivol fight came about. Anyway, Y'all do your boy a favor. I got 14 people in the building. I got 13 likes. I need everybody in the building to hit that thumbs up. I know more than 14 of y'all been in here so far, so I know I could get more than 14 likes up in this. I know it's early. Sometimes we just roll on in. We forget to hit that thumbs up. But could you do your boy a favor? Help your brother Southern T out. Hit that thumbs up on the way in. Keep the algorithm going. Let YouTube know we live. Let them know we over here cooking. But I digress. So now that we got it understood how the Bivol fight even came about anyway, right? Originally, it was Charlo, and then it was Triple G. A backlash happened, and then you picked Bivol, right? So now we at 175. So now we at 175 with Bivol. Walk with me, talk with me, jab the thumbs up, let YouTube know that we up early and we live. So now we at 175. So let's look at 175. You got Baturviev, you got Zerto, and you got Bivol. At this time, right? At this time, the Zerto hype was through the roof. People still think nobody beats Baturviev, right? So Canelo looked at Dimitri Bivol at 175. We can compare him to Charlo, and you could say, well, he's better than Charlo. Well, Charlo got more divisions, right? And before he beat Canelo, Charlo had bigger wins, right? So at this time, Charlo has more divisions and bigger wins, right? But people telling me that Bivol is a better fight than Charlo. Okay, cool. Well, let's just say that he is. Let's say that y'all right? 16 people in the building, 14 likes. Y'all jab that thumbs up. That one person here that don't really like me is listening still. Jab that thumbs up. I know you don't want me to know that you in here, but jab that thumbs up for your boy. Greatly appreciate it if you go listen, right? So let's not compare Bivol to Charlo at 168, right? Okay, I give you. Let's just say that you're right. Bivol was better than Charlo at that time, right? Let's compare Bivol to the other guys at 175. At that time, he wasn't better than the top guys at 175. He wasn't better than Baturviev, and people didn't see him better than Zerto either at that time. You know what I mean? So Canelo chose to fight the easiest, champion, the easiest, acceptable fight that he could fight at 175, which happened to be Bivol, who he was never originally going to fight anyway. It was Charlo, Triple G. And then Bivol came about after he ducked Charlo, and after we got on his ass about fighting Triple G, he said, well, okay, I'll fight Bivol, who's a champ at 175. Also, but at that time, let's dig a little deeper, right? Because we ain't gonna scratch the surface. We like to dig deep over here, right? But at that time, Bivol was seen as the weaker guy at 175 out of the top guys at 175. He was seen as the weakest link, at least out of the guys at 175, even if you feel he was better than Charlo, right? He was the weakest link out of the guys at 175, right? So that's the guy that Canelo chose to fight. Canelo went into that fight. Dimitri Bivol stumped him. He beat him. Y'all do your boy a favor. Y'all jab that like button. 18 people in the building, the same 14 likes. Hit that thumbs up for your boy. So he went in there and he lost to Bivol. He lost to Bivol, right? Immediately, and this is a real question for the 17 real niggas in the building right now. This is a real question for y'all. Immediately after he lost the Bivol fight, what did he say? What did he say when they asked him about a Bivol rematch? Do anybody remember what Canelo Alvarez said when they asked him about a Bivol rematch after the Bivol fight? Immediately after the Bivol fight. Do anybody remember what Canelo Alvarez said when they asked him about the Bivol fight? Anybody remember? Real quick, anybody remember? I'm gonna actually let somebody in the chat answer because this the participation part of the show. Real question, because I want to keep y'all engaged. Because we getting somewhere. Y'all know we getting somewhere. Y'all know we be going somewhere on Southern T, right? Do anybody in here remember what Canelo had to say right after the fight when they asked him, will he fight Dimitri Bivol again? Anybody remember? Do anybody remember? I don't think nobody remember because ain't nobody said nothing. You know what I mean? So I'm going to tell y'all what Canelo Alvarez said. When they asked Canelo Alvarez, are you looking to rematch Bivol anytime? Canelo said, he was hesitant about the rematch, but don't remember his exact words. Canelo, facts, y'all. Canelo said a lot of different things, Josh. But what Canelo said was, he said, I'm in contract to fight. He said, I'm in contract to fight Triple G. I don't, I just came up to 175 to try to be great and try to chase a leg sit and get, another title here. I'm going to fight Triple G at 168. I don't want to fight, Dimitri Bivol again because this not my division. That's what Canelo said. Canelo said that he would never, face Bivol again because he don't have no reason to be going up to 175, right? So all in all, he said, no, I don't want to fight Dimitri Bivol again after that, right? And then he fought Triple G. He said, I'm going to fight Triple G. When he was about to fight Triple G, right? That's when the rumbling started. That, oh yeah, I'd be interested in fight Bivol, but it had to be at 68. Y'all remember? I want y'all to stay with me. Y'all remember right after he fought Bivol, he said, no, I don't want to rematch Bivol because I don't fight at 175. I fight at 168. And then he was about to fight Triple G, and he said, I would rematch Bivol, right? But it has to be at 168. Now, me personally, I think he just threw, I will fight Bivol again after saying no the first time. He threw that out there to garner interest for his Triple G fight, right? Which is what, he did. He said, yeah, I'll fight him, but it got to be at 168 after that, right? And then that's when the rumbling started about the Canelo Alvarez and Bivol rematch. I'm going somewhere with this. I want y'all to stay with me, right? That's when the first rumbling started about the Canelo Alvarez and Bivol rematch. You know what I mean? That's probably somebody trying to see if they block. You know what I mean? But I appreciate you sliding through. Y'all jab that like button. That's when the first rumbling started about the Canelo and Bivol, the infamous, right? Canelo and Bivol rematch. But he said, okay, I got to fight Triple G. He fought Triple G, right? And that's when everybody said, hey, so now you can fight Bivol again. You and Bivol can get the rematch. You and Bivol can get the rematch. You and Bivol can get the rematch, right? And then what did Canelo Alvarez say at that point? What did Canelo Alvarez say at that point? At that point, Canelo Alvarez went on to say, I'm having hand and wrist surgery, right? So now Canelo Alvarez can't fight Bivol, right? He can't fight Charlo, or he can't fight Benavidez, right? Or he can't fight nobody else because he got to have hand and wrist surgery, right? He got to have hand and wrist surgery. So that's going to put him out until May, right? So that fight's going to put him out until May. Now Canelo Alvarez ain't coming back until May. He said, I'll look into the Bivol rematch in May, but I'm going to be out until May, right? So now let's move back to the WBO. Ryder and John Parker. Again, Demetrius Boo Boo Andrade is originally the guy who was supposed to fight Zach Parker last Saturday. John Ryder ended up stepping in, right? Eddie Hearn fighter. Ended up stepping in. Boo Boo, former Eddie Hearn fighter, was supposed to fight John Ryder, you know what I mean, for the interim belt to be Canelo's next mandatory. But Canelo, said that he'll be out until May, right? And then when he come back, he's going to fight, Bivol in the rematch, right? So I digress. Ryder and Zach Parker face off with each other. Ryder beat Zach Parker. You know what I mean? Not to mention, Ryder had a real close fight with Danny Jacobs earlier, about like a year and a half ago, maybe, right? He had a real close fight with Danny Jacobs, who some think he lost. I don't necessarily think he lost it, but he had a close fight with Danny Jacobs, who some think he lost. Questionable decision. We was wondering how Ryder got that decision, right? Now he's thrown into the WBO mandatory spot, in which a lot of people feel like they tried to, maneuver Demetrius Boo Boo Andrade out of. You know what I mean? They tried to maneuver him out of by offering him such a low pay rate, knowing Demetrius Andrade wasn't going to take, $250,000 for the fight. So Demetrius Andrade ended up dropping his belt. In comes John Ryder. And Zach Parker, is up 4-0 on the cards and ends up breaking his hand against John Ryder. So now we got John Ryder, back in the mix. But y'all notice something? This is the part that we miss. Y'all remember when Canelo Alvarez was about to fight Billy Joe Saunders. Y'all remember Canelo Alvarez was about to fight Billy Joe Saunders. but Billy Joe Saunders had made a problem about the ring issue. That was a thing. They almost canceled the fight because Billy Joe Saunders said, I wanted a bigger ring. What did Canelo Alvarez do when Billy Joe Saunders said, that he wanted the bigger ring? It blew up and it became a deal. Canelo Alvarez said that, Canelo Alvarez team said, call in John Ryder. Y'all remember it was a threat. It was a threat that John Ryder was about to step in for Billy Joe Saunders. I need somebody to, help me, somebody to tell me if they remember, that little situation with the Canelo Alvarez and Billy Joe Saunders fight. Do anybody else in here remember when Canelo Alvarez and Billy Joe Saunders, it was a week before the fight, Billy Joe Saunders was like, I need a bigger ring. Billy Joe Saunders was like, I need a bigger ring, right? Or I'm pulling out the fight. And they said that was about to bring in a replacement fighter. Do anybody else remember the replacement fighter that they was about to bring in? Right? Anybody remember the replacement fighter that was about to bring in? That replacement fighter that was about to bring in was John Ryder. So John Ryder has always been on the radar. You know what I'm saying? John Ryder is a name that has always been on the radar. That's a name that they always wanted to set Canelo Alvarez up to fight. You know what I mean? But I digress, right? I digress. So now, right? So now Canelo has hand and wrist surgery. He's out until May, right? He says he's coming back in May. So now John Ryder beats Zach Parker for the WBO interim belt, and the WBO calls that mandatory. Canelo Alvarez now has to face his WBO mandatory. My thing is, what's good, Judy Ben? Appreciate you sliding through this thing. Judy. TWT in the building. Again, in case I move too fast, y'all, when this fight first broke, when Andrade was involved in this fight, it was a fight for an interim belt. But when Andrade dropped his belt and they put John Ryder in this fight, when they inserted John Ryder into the fight, it became a mandatory bout. Did anybody else notice how it wasn't a mandatory bout before when Andrade and Zach Parker was negotiating all those months? But as soon as John Ryder get inserted, it become a mandatory bout for the WBO. So now, I want y'all to stay with me. So now when Canelo Alvarez comes back off his hand and wrist surgery, his WBO mandatory has to be fought. And right now, right, we just went through how it happened, right? Who is the WBO mandatory right now as we speak for Canelo Alvarez's belt? My guy St. Louis said, remember when they announced Canelo took the DAZN deal over the PBC offer? It was Bivol, GG, and the third fight to be named later. We knew it'd be Ryder then, but you broke it down to another level. Yeah, facts uncommon to. I'm saying, yeah, facts uncommon to. You know what I mean? So Ryder is now the WBO mandatory. So understand, y'all. So this Bivol rematch, they keep trying to sell to you. They keep bringing Bivol name up because now they know that the big fight, right? They know that the money fight for Canelo Alvarez would be Demetrius Bivol because Demetrius Bivol has beaten Canelo Alvarez. So now what they're doing is they're going to bring up Demetrius Bivol's name every time Canelo Alvarez has a fight with somebody else to bring interest, to garner interest in Canelo Alvarez's fight with John Ryder. You know what I mean? Canelo Alvarez was never going to fight Bivol. Even from the very beginning, Canelo Alvarez wasn't even planning to fight Bivol. He used Jamal Charlo, right, to popularize a Triple G fight. You know what I mean? And then once we shitted on the Triple G thought, they threw Bivol in there and said, well, Canelo go fight Bivol first to try to smooth it over. You know what I mean? So he was about to fight, right, Charlo, and then Triple G. And then we shitted on Triple G, and they said, well, we'll fight Bivol first. And then he picked Bivol from the 175-pound division. At that time, Zerto and Baturiel was seen as bigger threats at that division, right? So he chose the weakest of the 175 guys, at least he thought, right? So he chose Bivol as a third option for Charlo Triple G. You know what I mean? But now The play is that's what I'm saying on commentary. They go use Bivol name to promote Canelo Alvarez's fights and his future fights. He was never planning to fight that guy. He's not going to fight that guy. I mean, Ryder was already in here. Bivol was the guy they threw in there thinking that, oh, this would be a fight that we could win, the fans will approve of, and that could get us to where else we need to go. Bivol fucked up the plans of Canelo Alvarez. You know what I mean? The plan was always to put him in there against John Ryder. The plan was to have Canelo Alvarez get the belts at 175 just to keep Biterviev from getting undisputed. At least that's what I think. I think that was trying to stop, Bivol and Biterviev from being great and getting undisputed in Canelo era. And then it ended up backfiring on them. You know what I mean? But now I think Canelo Alvarez is going to stay at 168. At least he's going to stay at 168 for the time being. You know what I mean? But they just bought him a little more time by putting in this WBO thing. You know what I mean? By putting in the WBO mandatory, which is Ryder. When he come back, he got to fight John Ryder now, right? So he don't got to fight. You know what I mean? David Benavidez. David Benavidez is about to fight, Caleb Plant. And the winner of that fight will be next in line for Canelo Alvarez. But I'm pretty sure when that time rolls around for the WBC, right, that's when we'll see Canelo Alvarez probably move divisions, and maybe get a franchise title, you know what I mean, or something like that. But I don't think that, I think right now at this point in his career, they go keep maneuvering, they go keep jockeying for position to put Canelo Alvarez in the ring with as many John Ryders, you know what I mean, as they can. But I ain't gonna keep y'all in this thing too long. Just want to come on and have a boxing conversation, you know what I mean, with y'all real quick, get y'all my thoughts, let y'all into my head, let y'all see what I think. You know what I mean? But all in all, just to sum this up, man, I don't think he was ever, you know what I mean? He never wanted to fight Bivol in the beginning. You know what I mean? Bivol only came about because he wanted to fight Triple G the whole time. I don't think he ever really wanted to fight Charlo. I think he used Charlo's name to promote this fight with Triple G and that DAZN deal that he knew he was going to sign. And when we shitted on the DAZN deal and said that he ducked Charlo, they threw Dimitri Bivol in there to try to smooth it over like, oh, we stepping up to be great. We fighting a good fighter in Bivol. And it ended up backfiring. And right after the rematch, he said, "Nah, I don't want to fight Bivol. I don't fight at 175. I'm going down there to fight Triple G." And then once he was about to fight Triple G, he said, "You know what? I'm open to fighting Dimitri Bivol." And then after he beat Triple G, they said, "Okay, you can fight Bivol now." He said, "I got a hand wrist injury." Right? And now John Ryder come back in the picture all the way from the Billy Joe Saunders situation. John Ryder come back in the picture. Right? Now he's the new step-in opponent for Demetrius Andrade, who said he didn't want to fight, for the vacant interim belt. You know what I mean? So John Ryder steps in, right? He beats Zach Parker, who quit on the stool. And now John Ryder is next in line as the WBO mandatory for Canelo Alvarez. Canelo Alvarez was never going to fight Bivol. As soon as the hand and wrist statement came up, I knew he was never going to fight Bivol after he lost, because I know the kind of guy that Canelo Alvarez is. But as soon as the hand wrist, thing came up, and then the WBO mandated Parker and Ryder, I was like, well, he fighting John Ryder next, because they've been trying to get John Ryder in the mix. You know what I mean? And while we're here, right, before I get it better, while we're here, let's talk about this whole Canelo Alvarez and Lionel Messi thing. Lionel Messi is a soccer player, right? Lionel Messi, like 5'7", 130 pounds. Lionel Messi was standing. Lionel Messi had just beat, Mexico, and they had a Mexican flag in the locker room. And Lionel Messi used the Mexican flag to kind of wipe up some juice. And he was kind of, standing on it. You know what I mean? And whatnot, right? And Canelo Alvarez said, Lionel Messi better not let me see him, you know what I mean, in person. So Canelo Alvarez basically said he gonna step to Lionel Messi in person because Lionel Messi stepped on the Mexican flag, right? So my thing is, if that make Canelo Alvarez want to fight you, right? If that's the thing that make Canelo Alvarez want to fight you, my message to all the boxers that's out, What's good, Judge? He said facts using big games to sell mediocre fights. Yep, that's the move in boxing, just do. That's the move in boxing. That's the move that I be trying to bring light to. You know what I mean? That's the move that I be trying to bring light to, which is why I have the subject matter that I be having when I have it. You know what I mean? I don't just be on here just dropping, you know what I mean, random shit. You know what I mean? Not when it comes to this boxing shit. You know what I'm saying? My shit be, extremely thought provoked. It don't be rehearsed or nothing like that or scripted, but it be thought provoked for sure. You get what I mean? Is that Canelo picking Ryder is pathetic. Yeah, facts. So yeah, just my thing is, he said, yeah, a Mexican jersey. Yep, a Mexican jersey. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, Mexican jersey. Yeah, Mexican jersey uncommentary. So yeah, so my thing is right. If that's what make Canelo Alvarez mad, right? You stepping on the Mexican soccer jersey. I think Jamal Charlo, go find you a Mexican soccer jersey, get on TV and start stepping on that motherfucker. Anybody who want to fight with Canelo Alvarez, go find you a Mexican shirt, Mexican jersey, and then go step on that motherfucker because that's how you get fights with Canelo Alvarez. Canelo, yeah, fast calm. Yeah, fast calm. So now we know. So now we know how to get under Canelo Alvarez skin. Now we know how to make. Happy birthday too. Happy birthday to Queen Miss Calm. Happy birthday, Miss Calm. Yeah. So now we know how to get under Canelo's skin. So I need Jamal Charlo, and I need everybody. I need Charlo. I need Benavidez. Uh, Anybody who want to fight Canelo, I need everybody to go out there, just find you a Mexican jersey and start stepping on that motherfucker. And let's see if he really, and let's see, no problem, Queen. What's good, Rick? Ricky said by the time they figure it out, TWT will be on to the next. On to the next year. Fact, shout out to my guy. Let me drop the flame. What's good, Rick? TWT in the building. No problem, Miss Com. Yeah. So you know what I mean. So for everybody out here, I need everybody out here that want to fight Canelo. Y'all just go out there. Y'all find y'all a Mexican jersey, right? And record yourself stepping on Demetrius Boo Boo Andrade. You've been calling Canelo a bitch for like 6 years. You've been showing up to his press conferences, calling him a bitch. You know what I mean? You showed up to the last press conference. He lost his fucking top. He's still out here calling you, you know what I mean, a terrible fighter. You know what I mean? But then going out here fighting John Ryder. You get what I'm saying? So, Boo Boo, this is what I need you to do, Demetrius. I need you to go to your local Walmart. Go to your local Walmart. Find you a Mexican jersey, Demetrius Boo Boo Andrade. Throw that bitch on the ground and step on. Just get you some juice. Just start wiping shit up, with the jersey and tag Canelo Alvarez and send it to him because apparently that make him mad. I want to see, does that really make him want to fight or do he just want to pick on Messi who like 5'7", 130 pounds. But I ain't gonna keep y'all in this thing too long, man. Skin the Hardaway 7T. What's good, D Free? Appreciate you sliding through this thing. Glad you mate. TWT. But I ain't gonna keep y'all in this thing too long. He said A-Town stumped the shit out of Jersey. Yeah, facts on commentary. Because at this point, man, it's like this man want to fight everybody but, everybody but the best people. You got David Benavidez in your division, but David Benavidez is supposed to be next in line. David Benavidez is about to fight Caleb Plant, right? So I ain't gonna trip on that fight. What's good, Brown? Appreciate you sliding through this thing, Brown. David Benavidez is about to fight Caleb Plant. I ain't gonna trip on that fight. I've been wanting them folks to go at it for a couple years. You feel me? So cool. I'm cool with that, right? But the winner of that fight, right? The winner of that fight, Canelo. And then the thing is, you know what else? You know what else is crazy, bro? Let's go and talk about it. You know what else is crazy, bro? Canelo Alvarez be getting the easiest routes of the easiest routes, right? Now, Caleb Plant versus Benavidez is the good fight. But true enough, right now, David Benavidez ain't supposed to have to fight Caleb Plant to get a shot at you. He's supposed to be fighting you right now. But because you want to quote unquote have hand and wrist surgery, right? You're going to be out until May, right? And now all of a sudden you got to defend your WBO when you come back, right? Them guys is not just finna sit out a whole year and wait on you. That's what people like to say. You just sitting waiting on Canelo. You waiting on Canelo. Canelo be strategically, you know what I'm saying, avoiding the best competitions and going around and avoiding they schedule and shit. You get what I'm saying? Them folks ain't finna sit out no whole year. So yeah, they can go ahead and fight each other. But what you're trying to do is you either A, thinking, well, if Caleb Plant could beat David Benavidez, I don't gotta fight him, and I know that I could beat Caleb Plant because I already beat Caleb Plant. So if he could beat David Benavidez, then I should be okay fighting Caleb Plant again. You know what I mean? But I think if you fight Caleb Plant again, he gonna beat your ass because he didn't beat your ass the first time. You know what I mean? But you ended up catching him, and I think he's better now than he was when you fought him the first time. More experience. Caleb Plant, daddy got him to the biggest stage of the world, undisputed fight. His daddy got him to there. Shout out to his daddy, right? But his daddy got him to that point. And I'm cool with Caleb letting his daddy, have that moment, because if Caleb had won, then his daddy would have been the undisputed championship title trainer. So you let your daddy have that moment, right? But now that you lost, he got him a new trainer, so he even better now than he was then, and he got to 11 with you then, and you ended up catching him in the later rounds. So I don't think you beat Caleb Plant now, but I know what you're thinking, right? Either I'm finna put Caleb up in there with David Benavidez. They finna have a war, soften each other up. If David Benavidez win, Caleb Plant soften them up. I get to see how you look against Plant, somebody I beat, and I can go from there. Or if you're looking at it, if Caleb Plant beat David Benavidez, I'm gonna be in good hands because I can fight Caleb Plant again. You get what I'm saying? So what you're really doing is you should be fighting David Benavidez, but because you got a hand injury, right? Caleb Plant is about to fight David Benavidez. You know what I mean? Because he want to fight you again as well. So I see the play. You get what I'm saying? But it is what it is. He said people talking about Jamal, but acting like all this maneuvering, ground serving black fighters like Canelo, Triple G. Bivol. Bivol ain't moving though. Bivol ain't moving funny, bro. I ain't even gonna do Bivol like that. I ain't gonna lump him in there with them dudes because he not them. Bivol is not Canelo. He is not Triple G. He's nothing like them folks. He nothing like them folks. Bivol want to fight Baturiel, bro. Bivol want to fight Baturiel. He nothing like them folks, bro. He beat them folks ass. That's what he do. That's what he do. He beat them folks ass. He nothing like them folks, bro. He nothing like them, man. He said he should fight Makabu. He probably gonna end up fighting Makabu after he fight John Ryder. You know what I mean? But he said Ryder beats Morel, right? You know what I mean? And then the WB, I'm pretty sure they gonna figure something out. They gonna figure something out, right? But look, I ain't gonna hold you. Well, actually, I'm gonna go about 3 more minutes. I get to 48. I get to 48. I get to 48. But my thing is, when it comes to, I'm gonna talk about that Charlo thing. I'm gonna talk about the Charlo and Bivol situation. I'm gonna also talk about Dylan White and Jermaine Franklin and Anthony Joshua and all that shit. How I'm gonna tie all that up together for y'all. You know what I mean? A little later. I ain't sure exactly what time I'm gonna do it, but I'm gonna tie that Jermaine. What happened this weekend? Because this basically me, doing my weekend recap basically right here. This is my John Ryder, Zach Parker portion of it. Just a different way. And then I'm gonna do that Dylan White, Jermaine Franklin, Anthony Joshua's situation, a little later today, and tell y'all what I think about that whole situation, what happened with Dylan White and fucking Jermaine Franklin. You know what I mean? This weekend. So we cooking. Not just today, but we back. We back doing the Southern Teas like we used to throughout the year. I took me a little break. I was here, but I took a little break, from boxing. You know what I mean? Not really a little break for me. A little break for me is like the average person, regular workload, you know what I mean? But I took a little break, you know what I mean? But I'm back, you know what I mean? I'm back, I'm back. I'm back here, doing my thing. Just, open, just open y'all minds, open y'all minds up. See if y'all, could see it the way, see if y'all saw it the way I see it, you know what I mean? Because I be seeing a lot of shit and noticing a lot of shit. And I do a lot of these just to see, do I be tripping sometimes? But I know for a fact they've been lining this dude up from the beginning. I know for a fact that Canelo really don't want to fight fucking Bivol again. He probably never want to fight Bivol again. If he was going to fight Bivol again, there would have been no fucking hand and wrist surgery or whatever. I really don't think nothing was wrong with this shit. I just think he was trying to buy time so he wouldn't have to fight Bivol and David Benavidez. I had made an EP earlier, like last year. Canelo was they boxing them in when it comes to these good fighters. He had Plant this way, Benavidez that way, Charlo, Boo Boo like that. But Canelo then found the way, you know what I mean, to maneuver his ass on up out of all them good fights in some kind of way. He didn't end up fighting John Ryder in some kind of way, he ended up fighting Caleb Plant, who nobody really gave respect and nothing like that, who would be the weakest link. And now Caleb Plant got to fight David Benavidez. You get what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure he gonna find a way to avoid David Benavidez if he win. You know what I mean? His next fight against Caleb Plant. Now I think if Caleb Plant win, I think he'll fight Caleb Plant. But I think if he fight Caleb Plant again, that's gonna backfire for him. You know what I mean? But it's like I'm a Caleb Plant fan. I want him to beat David Benavidez, right? But something in me want to see Canelo Alvarez versus David Benavidez because I already seen Plant versus Canelo, and I hate that they didn't throw this good ass fight, right? Playing the Benavidez fight that we've been wanting. Now they give us this fight when the pressure on Canelo ass. So a fight y'all could have gave us last year, or whatever y'all give us now when the fucking pressure on Canelo. The boxing is what's wrong. I did an EP on how boxing, boxing be the powers that be. I put the people on it. Suleiman, you know what I mean? These sanctioned bodies, Bob, how they be orchestrated and they be, moving Canelo, letting them pick and choose, which guys, to fight and which guys to avoid. And for sure enough, boxing then failed us again when it came to Canelo. They didn't let him maneuver and weasel on out of this motherfucking situation. But I ain't gonna keep y'all in this thing too long. Appreciate everybody sliding through this thing, skin Hardaway 17. This ain't the past, this ain't the future, this the present. This how we rocking. And I'm out. Love.